You're listening to Tales of the Forsaken, a live play fate core game by Noble Jester Productions.
So, you have made your way underground, you have mostly avoided all these traps, and you've found this stone structure that definitely seems like someone wants to keep you out. You opened the door, managed to avoid the trap that was there, and now you are free to go inside.
Okay, now that we've set off the trap, I will head inside.
Yeah, so you push the door open, being careful to see if there's any more traps, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk inside this, it's a pretty small stone structure. And immediately you can see that this is an incredibly well-crafted building. The inside is very ornate. It's made of stone, but, it's very well fashioned and worked. There are kind of some benches around the entrance area, and then looks like there's some circular depressions in the ground. And then on the far end, you can see massive mural, and it's kind of hard to, pick out the details from the door.
Okay. Are the benches, those are also stone, or is...
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything in here is stone. It looks like if there was any other decorations or furniture or anything, it's been removed or just cleared out at this point.
Okay.
The only other thing you see, so there's the mural on the back wall,
mm-hmm.
and then on one of the side walls, it looks like there's some kind of a pole or something leaned up against the wall.
Okay. How big are those depressions that are in the floor?
Probably like 5 feet.
Okay. So I will, using the torch, I'll kind of move it forward. I'm still going to enter slow, make sure nothing else seems trapped. I want to go just kind of look at the depressions, see if they're smooth, or if there's anything interesting about that, and then go up towards the mural.
Yeah, the depressions are smooth. It looks like they've been put here purposely, when this building was carved out or crafted or however it was made. It looks like they're here for a purpose. As you kind of feel along one, you feel something almost chalky, but it looks like they've been pretty well cleaned out, so it's hard to tell what their original purpose was.
Okay. What's the chalkiness? Does it have any sort of odor or color to it?
If you kind of look at it closely, it's slightly tinged, kind of a pinkish red color.
Okay.
It doesn't have an odor.
Okay, so then I'll get up closer to the mural and hold the torch up and take a look at that.
Okay. You look at this mural, and this is one of the, you pretty much immediately recognize the things that it's depicting. This appears to be very well crafted, very lovingly created mural that is depicting the history of Rillian. So, you have kind of the creator god, Erlkin, who came down and walked the earth creating things. You have his various short-lived creations and animals and people and creatures that he was creating, and then kind of his almost like frantic desperation as these things all died. And it's all very well crafted and created in this mural. And then his giving of his own life to create the elves, and then the growth of their civilization, the creation of their floating city Alptram, the way that their civilization grew and flourished, and then the two brothers who, one of them kind of ascended to lead the elves and the other descended down to Rillian and created where Erlkin had failed. He created people, animals, creatures, and kind of populated Rillian with all sorts of things. And then just the kind of the swirling chaos of this mural starts, and you can see the wars and the things that are starting in Rillian. And then there's a clear break in the mural, and you can tell that the last portion of it is much newer, and it depicts the death of Eldrin, the Mad Life Shaper, the one who created all of this, and all of these people and creatures that he created tear him apart, and then Thordrin, the Lightweaver, bringing the elves down and conquering Rillian and setting everything in place before returning back to Alptram and ruling over Rillian.
Okay, so based on looking at this, is that all kind of general information that Beorn would know? Is this kind of like the known histories of Rillian?
Correct.
Okay. And then, does it feel like there's any sort of bias in any of this? Like, is it portraying any part of his history in a positive or negative light? And granted, you see there's these two separations of the old and the new. Does it feel like it could have been the same artist, or does it feel like somebody came in and tried to add in something that doesn't really match up with the first part? A lot of questions there.
Yeah, definitely a different artist. This new piece, we're talking within probably a matter of weeks. It's been added. The older stuff, it's hard to tell how old it is, but it's very old. Yeah, not done in anywhere close to the same loving detail. It's still very ornate, and it looks like it's kind of like a different sort of stone that's been placed over, kind of on top of the mural. As far as a bias, that really depends on your opinion of the elves and the society they've structured. The accepted history of the world has obviously been promoted by them. Mm-hmm. So that's really up to you if you believe it, if you think that that's even, how the world was created, or if you trust the elves at all.
Yeah, there probably wouldn't be much of a trust in the elves at all, and from Beorn's experience, not much of the world seems like it's in order, and whatever, they're trying to say as a society is order, he hates most everything about it. So he'd probably be, drawn more to this newer side and seeing that, because that's more relatable to where he's at. All the rest seems pretty probably far detached from his reality. Mm-hmm. That'd be interesting to see. Any reaction from Adrian to any of this? Is he kind of coming up and taking a look too?
He is, he's up pretty close to it, kind of squinting, checking it out. He's kind of oohed and awed over the detail and stuff, but unless you have a question for him, he hasn't really made any comments on it.
Okay, I don't think anything specific. After looking at that, I think I want to just look around a little bit more. You mentioned there was that pole that was kind of leaning up. I want to go, inspect that and see if, there's anything of note with it.
Yeah, you walk over and it appears to be a spear, actually, that's leaning up against the kind of in a corner. The point of it is down on the ground.
If I go up to inspect around it, is there anything attached to it at all? I want to make sure this thing isn't also trapped.
Yeah. No, I get that. You look at it and you kind of carefully look around. You don't see any visible signs of a trap.
Okay. I will reach to it and kind of just see if I can pick it up.
Yeah, you pick it up. I would say with your newfound kind of magical connection, you can immediately tell that it is a magical spear. So I'm just going to give you what this does. I'd say if you spend a little bit of time inspecting it and kind of using your magical senses, you would be able to pick this up. Essentially, when you use this spear, you have access to the stunt. It's called Dragon Killer.
Okay, I like the sound of this.
So any attack against a dragon gets an additional +2 when using the spear. And then if you use a fate point on the roll, that bonus becomes +5. So if you use a fate point to re-roll or add a +2, the bonus becomes a +5. So you could potentially get a +7 on one attack with this spear.
Sweet. Why would this be here? That's interesting. Okay. Okay.
So as you're looking at this spear, do you say anything to Adrian about it?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out who he is. Like, I don't find him super threatening right now with what we've been through, but knowing this type of competition, there is going to be some reluctance in sharing too much with him. So I don't think I'm going to share anything about the spear.
Okay. So he's still just over there, kind of inspecting the mural, and it looks like he's actually like feeling along the edge of that newer portion that's been added.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go walk up and just kind of watch and see what he's doing.
He looks over at you and he says, not really sure, but there's appears to be, you see how this portion looks like it's newer? Something's been added.
Oh, yes, I can see that.
Get your fingers in here.
I'll kind of prop the torch up, off to kind of the side, and then I'll follow along what he's doing and do that.
It almost feels like you could pull this off of the wall.
Okay, I'll pull a little bit. Like, if it starts to move, an inch or so, I'll stop. If something doesn't happen, then I'm gonna grab the torch and I'll kind of like shine it to where I can see down in that. There's a crack.
Okay, if you're pulling by yourself, it's not going to budge. But, with both of you pulling together, it peels a little bit off the wall and then falls and shatters on the ground.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what's behind it?
Behind it, you can tell that the mural continued at one point, and it's been just destroyed.
These jerks. Can I tell anything from it, or is it just like messed up to the point of no recognition?
Depends on how closely you want to inspect it.
I want to spend some time. I'm kind of curious. Like, obviously someone took some effort to do this. Even just getting in here was a lot of effort. So I'll take some time to get down, look at it. Even in the back of my mind, with thinking back to my encounter with this dragon, him restoring my leg and having this new magical awakening that's coming from that. I mean, he'd be trying anything at this point. So, like, trying to focus and see if, putting some magic towards this to see if that has any effect on it.
Yeah, so you're inspecting it pretty carefully. You can tell that at one point this was just a large mural that, continued in this portion, but it's been recently almost like purposely defaced. There's really no way to tell what it used to say. Then as soon as you start to focus some magical energy on it, you suddenly start getting these flashes in your mind. And you can tell that there's clearly something at least lightly magical about this mural. It's almost echoing back these images into your mind from you putting a little bit of magic into it. And you can see that where the added portion had depicted a world in chaos and these people and, creations of Eldrin had torn him asunder, that this mural had originally shown a world that was beginning to grow and flourish, and then these elves coming down and these two brothers clashing, leaving Eldrin dead on the ground, and then the elves spreading out across the world and conquering everything. So you're getting these flashes of kind of what the mural used to show, and then at the very end you see this portion that starts to kind of gleam in physical form, actually starts to kind of gleam, and then there's some dust that falls, and this final portion shows Eldrin standing up, apparently not dead, holding a tablet that is what is glowing, and then descending down into the earth. The mural ends.
Eldrin, he was which one again?
He was the one that essentially created everything except the elves. He left this civilization to, actually create really and fill it with people, with all the different races and animals and things. And supposedly with the actual, history of the world, that everything began into chaos and he was killed by his own creations, and that was what forced the elves to come down and reshape the world kind of with their own society of order.
Got it. So what this is showing is that things were not bad. He has left, potentially, is like kind of what it looks like.
His brother, who was the ruler of the elves, came down and killed him. They conquered the world, but then at the very end it shows that he actually stood back up. He's holding this tablet, and then he descended down into the earth.
Got it. So, like, potentially something within his power has kept him, something tied with these tablets, and he's maybe just kind of lying in wait until something happens. Like, it could be how I can interpret
Sure.
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this little stone tablet that he's holding is glowing, kind of with this magical aura.
Is there like a little tablet there I can pick up?
Do you try?
Yeah.
As soon as you touch it, it depresses back into the wall, and the entire mural slides up.
Okay.
And behind it, inside of the wall, is a stand with this tablet that's, about the size of a piece of paper. And it has 4 gems set into the front of it. 3 of which are kind of lightly glowing, the same kind of magical energy, one of which is not.
I'm way too curious now. I'm gonna reach in there and try to grab this.
Yeah, you pick it up, and you can, again, your kind of newfound magical senses. It's incredibly magical. Hard to tell what else.
Okay.
As soon as you pick that up, you feel something in the air around you kind of magically snap, and the entire cave starts to shake.
Okay.
Like light shaking, not like,
Not
full
like
on
walls are coming
earthquake,
down. Okay.
but things are starting to kind of rumble, and you start to hear stone shifting and noises from outside.
Okay. I think we will start making our way out of here, just because, I don't know what could be happening. So I will lead Adrian out, make sure we avoid this, take the same path out that we made in, using the torch to light up the floor and avoid any of those traps.
Okay.
Unless things like start getting a lot noisier, then we might have to hurry, but that would be the plan.
Yeah, so you start moving out, you're kind of where that path was, so you're making your way back through those major traps, and right about as you get to the entrance back to the hallway that leads, back out, you start hearing rumbling and then loud crashing of water.
Okay, if I hear that, we're gonna run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to just flat out run and ignore any traps that you skipped over before?
Dang it, because we're to the point where we haven't cleared all the traps yet.
Yeah, I don't believe you actually cleared the traps in the hallway. I think you just ignored, stepped
That's
over
what I
them.
meant.
Yeah.
I cleared past them, not that I diffused any. Well, we'll just start going a little quicker. So, unless I'm seeing the water actively rushing behind me, I'm not going to just run through there. But we'll try to pick up the pace a little bit. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're moving as quickly as you can. You kind of remember where traps were, and using Adrian's help too, the two of you kind of are making your way through. You haven't tripped any traps. You start to see at your feet water rushing past you, and you can hear, it's pretty loud behind you, pretty clearly. The force of this water is going to continue growing.
Okay.
And you better get out of here.
Okay, we will run now at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start running, and if you bother to look back behind you, you can see that the cave seems to have completely filled with water, and this water is actually starting to rush down this hallway at you in like a wall.
Oh, dang.
So you're running, and let's go ahead and get an athletics check.
Okay. New dice. That is a -1.
Okay, not great.
Nope.
Adrian got a 2. So, yeah, the two of you are running. At one point, you do kind of feel your foot catch one of those tripwires, and I'm assuming you just kind of leap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just, kind of continuing your momentum, leap forward as well as you can. You feel this arrow shoot past your leg, but it doesn't hit you.
Okay.
But it becomes clear that you're not going to make it. You can see the exit, you can see these stairs, and the water is about to reach you. Is there anything you want to do?
I think I will. I'm not gonna have much time for this. I will reach the spear, like holding the spear. I'm gonna reach part of it back towards Adrian and yell at him, "Grab on!" And then just hold on.
Okay.
Hopefully the water will push. It's gonna keep pushing me out. So
yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So you go ahead and he grabs onto the spear, and the two of you get hit by this wall of water that is crashing through this hallway. You impact the stairs and then are getting just flung up these stairs, rolling, getting rubbed up against them. So let's go ahead and get probably a physique roll.
Okay.
I'm going to do this almost like an attack of the water against you.
Okay, it's a 0.
Okay. So go ahead and take a point of physical stress.
Okay.
Adrian is going to take 2 points of physical stress. Yeah, as you're just getting slammed up against these stairs, but eventually the water flings you out and you land on the ground. And then this water is kind of rushing up and out, and it explodes out. Water, kind of comes down, and then it slowly starts to recede.
Okay, out of curiosity, is there anything around where I could tell this water would have came from, like a lake or something nearby, or is just up out of the ground, some spring type thing?
It appears to have come from the back of the cave.
Okay.
And rushed through, so probably some kind of a trap.
Okay.
But yeah, it kind of exploded out in almost a geyser of water, and now it's slowly receding back down the stairs.
Okay.
So kind of draining back down.
Yeah, I think with that, I'll just kind of do a check over, make sure I don't have any major injuries, check out Adrian, and then I think based on that all happening here, probably don't want to stick around in case someone is nearby and might have seen or heard something that would have had them come check this out. So I think we're going to go back in the direction that we were prior to coming here.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and get either survival or investigate. I don't know, something to just see if you notice if anything has changed or if anybody's laying in wait for you or anything like that. So I don't know if I'm giving you the opportunity to argue for one of your skills, but
no, the skill list that I have, I don't feel like is in favor of any of those things. So no skills for that.
Okay. Adrian is pretty good at survival, so he could roll if you want.
Yeah, let's have him do that.
Okay.
And I could support him with my strong rapport.
All right. That's a good roll.
Hey, that was a good roll.
Yeah. So, you're kind of checking each other over. You've both got bumps and bruises, nothing super serious, but you're both kind of exhausted just from the run and the terror and, getting slammed up against these stairs and thrown. As you start to stand up, he puts a hand out. He's kind of squinting around, and he says, "Something feels off."
Okay, I will, I'll grab his arm and pull him down, and we'll get low to the ground.
Okay.
And then I'll kind of scan around and look for anything off.
You've already said that you can't see anything, so.
Well, true. But at least I'm not just standing out here in the middle of the field. I've gotten down and I'm a smaller target.
Yeah. You both get down, and he's looking around. He says, "It's too quiet." And you kind of start to listen, and just the normal forest sounds. You can hear things off in the distance, but in your immediate vicinity, there's nothing.
Okay. Well, let's start to move. I will kind of reach back and I'll get up in kind of a crouch position and start to kind of crouch walk out of here.
Okay. Yeah, you both start to move forward. His roll was good enough that he suddenly kind of grabs your arm and points down at the ground, and there's basically a snare that's been put between two trees.
Oh, okay. So I'll back up and try to walk around the tree that it'd be connected to.
Yeah, you start to walk around this tree, and someone's going to leap down out of the tree at you.
Okay.
So, leaping down out of this tree is what would almost be a comical figure if they were clearly not trying to kill you.
Uh-huh.
A smaller gnome who is almost fully nude, just wearing a loincloth, and has this large mask on with feathers kind of sticking out of it with a large beak.
Mm-hmm.
Looks kind of like a hawk.
Okay.
And he's leaping down at you he has these kind of gauntlet things on that look like talons on each one of his fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just leaping at you.
Okay. Some crazy gnome hunter?
Yeah.
Dang it. Gotta watch out for the small ones.
Yeah. You've now met the hawk.
Okay.
One of the hunters.
All right.
And he's going to try to kill you.
I believe it. I'm sure he's
All
going
right.
to try to be creative too, so we get surprised.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he's going to make an attack against you.
Oh, this guy.
That is a 5.
Okay. So I'm going to defend with, I guess, athletics. So that would be a 2.
Okay.
So what I could do is, thinking back to when we tripped this trap and how I used the ability to kind of like push back, I can, remember that it's pretty recent. Do the same sort of thing here where he's coming in. I kind of use that to like quickly, move faster than I could naturally.
Yeah.
So I can add a +2 as that, what the stun is that. So then that would be what I said was 2, and that would be a 4 total.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you take 1 physical stress.
Okay. But my 1 box is already marked off, so I'm going to have to mark off my 2.
Yeah. So he leaps down on you, and he's kind of got his talons, and your surge of magic kind of pours through you, and you leap aside, and it definitely took a little bit out of you, but he misses you. He lands, and you're up.
Okay. Well, I think. How close is he to me now? Like right up with
right
me?
up against you.
Okay. Then I'm going to take this dragon killer spear, basically, and try to stab at him with that.
Okay.
So that'd be like a fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not a dragon.
No, he's not a dragon, but it is
Yeah.
probably the best weapon I have that's not a ranged weapon, so...
Yes.
Okay. That is a 2 total.
Okay. He got a 5 again.
Dang. Okay. Well, that didn't work.
All right. So you try to stab at him with this spear, and he just kind of knocks it aside. Adrian is going to rush in and leap at him with the dagger you gave him.
Okay.
That is a terrible roll.
Adrian.
Yeah, he like leaps at him, and he misses him and lands in the dirt next to him. This gnome turns and he grabs a vine that's hanging down out of the tree, and he puts his foot into a loop and cuts a vine with one of his talons, and he shoots up into the tree.
Okay. Okay.
So that's his movement. He leaps from one tree into another.
Okay.
And starts kind of moving around in these trees. What are you going to do?
Okay. Gosh. Got some magical ability. Feel like it is a much better use of my skills than me trying to use that. So I just want to like channel some like just arcane energy. I don't know what I'm harnessing yet. I just try to like shoot something out at him.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. Not great rolls tonight. I might be switching out my dice real quick. I think I wasted all of them before we played, so. So that would be a +2.
Okay, he got a 3.
Okay. Maybe I spent a fate point here. I wish I were stronger. That's one of my aspects.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, okay, so then I'm going to re-roll.
Yeah, and I think that aspect is appropriate and works for these kind of magical, using this newfound magical sense, because it seems to have made you stronger.
But I just don't know how to use them. Figuring it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Reroll here. Definitely better. So that is a 5 total.
All right. He takes 2 points physical stress.
Take that, Hawk.
So we didn't set any aspects for this, this scene, but I'm gonna go ahead and set a couple here. Let's say lots of trees.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna use I'm gonna go ahead and lay out his aspects as well.
Okay.
So he has Death from Above, Trap Expert, and Vicious.
Okay.
So potentially you could use those against him, or you can also, you're free to declare an aspect for this scene. You only set one if there's something that makes sense.
Okay.
So he's going to move from tree to tree a little ways away from you, and then he kind of shifts behind starts to shift behind a tree. Your arcane blast flings in and hits this tree that he's trying to hide behind and knocks him out of the tree.
Okay.
And he lands, and then you can see him leap up, run to another tree, and he starts to climb up it with these talons. And then he's gonna move over. He's a lot closer to you now, and you see him whip a vine out of this tree, and he's gonna try to essentially, drop it around your neck.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That is a 4.
Dang. That is maybe I'm using athletics here, so that's a 0. What if I invoke lots of trees, and there's another tree there that's like obstructing this vine from fully extending?
I mean, that's fine, although even if you add a +2, he's still going to succeed.
Yeah.
So it will slow him down a little.
I mean, I can re-roll.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. So I'm down to 1 fate point. I don't like this guy. It's better. So that is a 2 total.
Yeah, so he drops this vine around your neck, and it settles on your shoulders, and then he yanks it up, and it starts to constrict your windpipe there, and then he ties it onto a log that seems to be suspended, and then kicks this log out of the tree, and you suddenly get jerked up by your neck. So he's not actually causing any physical stress, but he's just essentially created an advantage.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call it trussed up.
Okay.
And you're now hanging by your neck from a tree.
Okay. All right. This is not going well.
And you're up.
Okay. Well, I will definitely need to get out of this situation. So I will try to shoot like an arcane blast at wherever this log is that would be attached to this vine that's around my neck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would basically be probably an overcome roll. Yeah, so go ahead and roll. I'm going to say not an opposed check, but probably just a 3.
Okay.
Difficulty.
That is a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you fling some magical energy out. You've now figured out you can do that. It impacts this log, which just explodes, splinters flying everywhere, and you drop. And you, I assume, probably land on your feet, and the vine falls down around you and loosens a little bit. You can breathe.
Okay, cool.
Adrian doesn't have either of the ranged weapons because you didn't leave either of them with him. So he's actually going to run over to you. He's going to grab this vine, pull it off around your neck, and then he's going to rush over to the tree and start to climb it, carrying this vine.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so he starts to climb up. Let's see how quickly he does so. Hey, that's a pretty good roll.
That's like a spider monkey right there.
Yeah, he climbs up. He was a woodsman.
Yeah.
He knows how to move through the woods. He climbs up, and he actually throws this vine at the hawk, and he's gonna attempt to essentially snare him with his own vine. Hey, that actually worked.
Nice.
So he flings this vine out, and he's not he didn't make a lasso or anything.
Right.
It's just, it wraps around this guy, and he just yanks him, and so he loses his footing and falls out of the tree.
Okay, awesome.
So he's now on the ground. I think at this point, it's his turn, and he's going to stand up and just run.
Okay.
He's fully booking it away from you. Doesn't look like he's interested in continuing this fight.
Okay, yeah, things are not going well. I'll still take a shot at him while he's running away, just in case. So I'll get the crossbow out and try to take a shot.
Okay.
It's only 0.
Okay. He got a 2.
Okay.
So, yeah, so you take a shot, and he just keeps running.
Okay.
Seems like he was hoping for a quick and easy kill, and that didn't work out.
Okay,
so.
give him a little trouble. Okay, yeah, then I will not stick around. So me and Adrian are gonna head a different direction.
All right, yeah, so you head the other direction and, move a little bit into the woods away from that stairwell down into the ground, and we'll end it there.
Okay.
There you go. You had your first encounter with a hunter.
I did. And the worst part is I'm going to have to fight him again. Hopefully I'll be stronger next time around and a little more competent and know what I'm doing.
I mean, you may not have to fight him again. There's a lot of people in this
that's true.
arena. They're not all hunting you.
That's true. Hey, but who knows? Maybe he'll be like a fan favorite.
Yeah.
The hawk. No, I'm going crazy up and out of the trees. It's going to be a tough time.
All right. Well, you got some lore. You got a weapon.
Yeah.
You survived.
I survived, and that's what this is all about. I'm going to limp through till the end.
There you go.
Save my children. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. We're excited about this new season and exploring a new story and more brilliant.